are welcome here. You 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 are welcome here. Our arms are wide open. There's room for everyone. Wherever you're going, wherever you're from, you are home. You are welcome here. 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 Whatever you've been through, you found us somehow. Wherever you are on your journey now, you are home. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are so welcome. You are welcome here. You are welcome anywhere now. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Oh, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. Everybody, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I am 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 welcome here. Oh yeah, I am welcome here. We are welcome here. We are welcome here. Welcome here. We are welcome here. Everybody's welcome. We are welcome here. We are welcome here. Come here. We are welcome here. Everybody's welcome. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Everybody's welcome. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome here. I am welcome here. I as well. I am welcome here. I am welcome here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
A mother's legacy. Her heartbeat is the first sound that you hear, the first rhythm that you become attuned to. She is your passageway into this realm and the first other that you will know. She is your mother. When you are born, the dance of your life begins. From absolute dependence on your mother, you grow into independence. Each moment precedes the next. In a never-ending procession of experiences that shape who you will become. Behind the scenes of everyday life, the nuances and complexity of your character and relationships are formed. It takes almost a decade to develop your basic personality. Yet there are always ways and room for new learning, for new interactions and greater integration. You continue the dance with others. Yes, you do. And sometimes in step and other times out of step with them. Right? Always in rhythm, though, with an earlier dance with your mother. One day, you realize and discover that there are other ways of dancing. Different steps and even different rhythms become possible. It is a revelation. New possibilities emerge as you set out on an important adventure. Even still, the thread of your original connection with your mother is never severed, for it is the foundation upon which your relationships have been laid. Yet now, you begin to weave in new ways of relating, new threads, this time beginning within you and branching out in new and different connections with others. Sometimes the new dance and the threads begin to transform the old, and you become your own choreographer. And then you begin to realize the invaluable gifts of the life and relationship that your mother has given to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That is a beautiful poem written by Gail Belluardo, whose mom's birthday is passing, right? Or birthday. Her mom's birthday would have been tomorrow. So welcome to those of you who are here in person. It's always great to have you here. It's a different energetic exchange. And welcome to all of you in virtual land, whether it's today, tomorrow, or any time in the future. Today is Mother's Day, which is interesting because May is the month of embracing emotions. And if you're anything like me or anybody I've ever counseled, we do touch the wide spectrum of emotions when it comes to mother, doesn't it? And so today is a big day. We will explore that, and we'll explore how we can befriend all of those emotions and go deeper into a place of faith, which is really trusting the Divine Mother already within us. So my name is Frankie Timmers, and I'm the spiritual director here at Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. And if you're on Facebook, use the little bubbles, say hello to each other, make comments, let us know what you would love to experience, maybe have an interesting talk topic. And if you are on YouTube, I think there's also room for comments, and they only have a thumbs up and a thumbs down, which both are welcome. And then there's our website where you can go to get all kinds of information about what we're doing in our community, and that's cslmorristown.org. So the theme for the year, fitting in where the month is Everyday Wonder. The next thing I want to invite you to do is to say hello to each other, for those of you who are here in person. And the way we do that is through our Namaste practice. Namaste is the Sanskrit word for the divinity in me blesses the divinity in you. So put your hands together in front of your heart and just turn to someone and say Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
You can also say hi, because Namaste is weird.
Hi, mistake.
Yes. And so let us now do an opening treatment, which is our word for affirmative prayer. So in this moment, as we close our eyes and our turn away from the outer world, we turn to that inner world, which is an infinite fount of wisdom and love and grace and peace and harmony, ever awaiting our attention, our partaking, our faith in it, knowing that it is ever giving of itself, and that we get to be on the receiving end. So today we let go of whatever is in the way, whatever is blocking us in our receptivity, filling up on what it is that we love and need from the inside out, instead of the outside in, which seems to be such a waste of time and energy. And so today we trust that the Divine Mother's love is bestowing itself upon all of creation. All of creation. And that in the receiving, healing is happening. We trust this. We are grateful for it. And we are willing to know it more deeply than ever before. And so it is.
So it is.
So, Mother's Day, it is a perfect day because everybody unconditionally feels loved by their mothers. Everybody unconditionally loves their mother, and everybody unconditionally surrenders to the love of the Divine Mother.
1 out of 3 ain't bad.
1 out of 3 ain't bad. And can you feel that stirring when Mother's Day arrives? You know, there's all this whoo, and Hallmark was really smart at marketing, and underneath there's this bubbling of heartache. I would say that one of the experiences that I have in spiritual counseling the most is when a mother comes to me with an ache in her heart about having mothered well enough, or having mothered, having given enough, having done it right. But then there's also the people who feel they haven't been mothered properly, and that is the great burden of their life. And so there's a lot, right? And so May is about embracing our emotions. And last week I talked about how there are lots of theories about emotions. Some people say, well, there's 6 basic emotions, or 5 basic emotions, or 27 basic emotions. Listen to last week's talk. You'll remember what all that was about. I'm just reviewing. And then there's the list that I handed out that's over there that you can grab with 271 emotions. And you took that list home, those of you who were here, and you did some exploring on which of those emotions you're most turned off by, because that's your shadow. And that shadow wants to be healed. It wants to be brought into the light, because all of us wants to be in the light. And so then there's Ernest Holmes saying, no, there's really only one basic emotion, and that is love. Love is all there is. Morgan shouted it out, 5, 6 years old. Love! And so Ernest Holmes then says, yes, love is the only emotion, and fear is just the absence of love. And so when we look at the 2 basic emotions, we can trace all other emotions down in either the category of love or the category of fear. So what would you say can categorize as fear? What's under the list of fear? Anger. Hurt.
Damage control.
Damage control. Disappointment. Insecurity. Resentment. Yes, on and on, right? All those can be in that particular category. And so I know that what happens is, when it comes to how we were mothered, I believe today that that is all an opportunity for healing. I was not mothered perfectly, like most of us. But it is completely healed, because I don't need to wait for someone to fill that hole. I don't need my mother to change. Some of us still wait for our mothers to change after they died 20 years ago. I don't need anything from her, because I now am in a place of healing where I love her unconditionally, and now she's mothering me from the other side in a way I could have never imagined, because she's now part of the Divine Mother. Some people say, oh, you don't have kids? Were you not able to get pregnant? I said, I wish I would have been able to get pregnant, because pregnancy I thought was really cool, but having the baby, no. That has never been my dream. I want to have a husband, picket fence, and 2.5 kids. Never. Many people do not understand that, especially like when you go to the Middle East. I remember somebody asking in a Turkish sauna, how many children do you have? I said 0. And then I could not believe when I said, I don't want children. I didn't want children as an adult. And I'm so grateful it worked out that way. And many people don't understand that either. But I'm totally at peace with that. And so I'm also aware that I mother in different ways, my children. Right? And so what happens is, if we don't heal the pain and the fear that we experienced from how we were mothered, we project it onto the world. We project it onto our partners, our children, our neighbors, our politicians. And so what we want to really do with the theme of this month is to look at the experience of our emotions and our feelings, and to think of them as a GPS. It's a guidance system to what wants to be healed and wants to be fulfilled. There is controversy about the difference between emotions and feelings, but what I've kind of figured out for myself, which is always changing, is that emotions are standard. There are basic emotions, right? Anger, fear, sadness, love, joy. And then the feelings are the experiences that we have with that emotion. Because some people, when they experience anger, they might overeat or drink, or they might get sad, or they might be aggressive. So different things happen from these emotions. So the feelings are the experiences that we are having as individuals, and feelings are great information on the road to self-awareness and becoming more conscious, which we're all in. It's a never-ending journey. So then what we want to do is we explore our experience of love, and we explore our experience of the absence of love. Because if we stop at pointing the finger at someone for not loving us the right way or not loving us enough, then we're part of the problem. And we can never heal. And nor can the other person. Because there's an energy of lack and limitation. There's an energy of woundedness without the willingness to heal. And so the invitation is to say, let me befriend this feeling that I don't even want to feel. Let me make friends with it, because it has information and it holds the healing. It holds the key. It holds the answer for us. And so remember the show Fear Factor? It was a show probably a decade ago where they made people do insanely scary things, like, what do you remember? Like eating bugs? What else? Spiders, eating spiders. Or letting them crawl all over you. Yes, some of you. Jumping off of tall buildings. Right? All these crazy things. I did not like the show personally. But it was fascinating, and it became more fascinating when I decided to do a ropes course. And what it was with colleagues, which was interesting, which was climbing up a pole that was 25 foot high in the air. And on top of it was a lazy Susie. That's what you call it, right? Lazy Susie.
Lazy Susan.
Lazy Susan that you stand up straight, turn around, and then dive into a trapeze. Hell no, was my response. Not just my mind. I can still feel it in my body, but my entire body. I said, there's no way, there's no way. And then I remembered I was in a harness, because I watched the people that went before me. And what happened was, if anything went wrong, you just hang there in your harness, you barely move. And something in me said, flip in, that's not the word I thought, go for it. And I dove and I screamed, so I was hoarse for 3 days. And it was the most exhilarating thing. And what I realized in that moment is that only my mind experiences fear. That fear is a concept of our mind because it's a belief. And so it was the most powerful experience that I will never forget and will never do again. Same with skydiving. I'll never do that again either. One time was enough. But I like to challenge myself in that way because it gets me to notice what goes on in my own mind, right? And so we are familiar with this idea of fight, flight, or freeze. That's not just a response to a physical fear, but it's a response to an emotional fear as well. But we don't always realize it. We don't always think about it. So this week I want you to kind of think about it. How do you freeze? How do you fight? How do you flee? And in our teaching there's a fourth one, which is to free ourselves of those ideas of lack, loss, and limitation. It's to understand the acronym that says, for fear, that says false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. The other one is F everything and run.
And face everything and recover.
Face everything and recover. Yes, there's so many of them. I think Gail has one later too, because she's going to walk us through an experience. So it's feel the fear and do it anyway. That may not mean that we do it right away, but to really say I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway, and I'm going to sit with that, see what that can look like. It's that invitation of exploring and befriending the things that we struggle with inside. Because the tendency is for us to criticize ourselves, to shame ourselves, to hold back, to judge ourselves. Imagine if we just befriended that part of us and embraced ourselves like you would a child or a grandchild or a dear friend. And so how do we do that? Well, I do think it requires courage. But the good news is courage comes from your heart, and you all have one, right? Still working? Yeah. Courage. To have courage. And the way that we have courage is we listen to a different part of us. We engage with a different part of us. We don't say, oh, my mom did this or didn't give that. Oh, it's the Divine Mother in you that is there to give, there to love, there to serve, there to show the way, there to heal. Isn't it interesting that we turn more to our dead mothers than to the Divine Mother within that's the fountain of all life? That's the journey. That's the journey of awakening. So it means that we choose healing. It means that we choose to embrace where we struggle and realize it's for us and not against us. It's to heal the duality we experience with our mothers on Mother's Day and whatever other day. It's to say, I don't know one mother on this planet that's perfect. Nor was mine. And can I realize that she was mothered as well? And that probably in the way she was mothered, there was even more lacking. It's to let go and to accept what was given. Personally, I'm in a place now where I'm so grateful for the things that I learned from my mother. And she would have turned 99 last week. Oh. And I always write a letter on her birthday and let her in my journal and let her know who I am today. And I always am grateful for all that I've learned from her. And what was missing, what was lacking, is hardly in my mind anymore because that's what I've used to heal. Is it perfect? Not yet. And so what that that means is to have faith in something bigger in us. To not so much try to have faith in the world of conditions and effect, but to have faith in the world of truth within us, in the world of capacity within us, in fear as a divine alchemist, in the leading from fear to faith, in the messenger of fear instead of thinking of it as a torturer. And that means that we grow in trust, that we grow in courage, that we grow in our different focus, that we grow in confidence. And the beauty is that the infinite love of the Divine Mother is already in us. So when we go and look for crumbs out here, we just forget that it's already inside and that we can sit and receive. And so the idea is receptivity and letting go of what no longer serves us. So I want to close with a little poem that I recently heard on a podcast that was written in 2003 by Sapphire Rose. It uses the pronoun she, so anybody who needs to change that in your mind, just go he, okay? She let go. She let go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She didn't search the scriptures. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of all the planning and all the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her day timer. She made no public announcement and put no ad in the paper. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't do a 5-step spiritual mind treatment. She didn't call the prayer line. She didn't utter a word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good and it wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it's just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her, and the sun and moon shone forever.
Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Sing my little mantra, gonna get it in my head. Today is a party, gonna leap on out of bed. And I start my day in this way, knowing everything is okay. I look for the good in everything, makes me wanna say, oh, something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. It's not out in the future, it's right before my eyes. The beauty, joy, and wonder, it's time I realize that every moment is a gift. All it takes is a slightest shift to see the good in everything. It'll make you want to say, oh, something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. How can I be open to it? Gratitude, gratitude. What if I'm not really feeling it? Gratitude, gratitude. I believe in the power of what I say will be. I finally learned the lesson that gratitude is the key. Amazing, 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 amazing. It's all 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 amazing, amazingly awesome. Gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Yeah, something amazingly awesome is gonna happen to me today. Something amazing. Amazing, yeah. Don't know what it's gonna be yet. It's so amazing. Something coming, something good. Something's coming, something good. Something's coming, something. It's so amazing.
Something amazingly awesome. You are amazingly awesome. And now let us
Come on, Gail.
Let us twist.
And now let us twist. And now let us move into a meditation where we get to acknowledge and release. So I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable. At home or here, just sit and relax. Feet on the floor. Take a nice deep breath. And just breathe in that breath. That breath is the breath of life. And in breathing this breath of life, having listened to this service so far, whatever has bubbled up for you is right and perfect for now. Right and perfect for now. And so I invite you to listen in, listen within, to see, is there some fear or discomfort, some unhappiness, some irritation, some frustration, and just allow yourself to feel whatever it is. Breathing fully, allowing the breath to take you into your body, moving from the head to the body. And as you breathe in, notice if there's discomfort or trepidation or any sensation somewhere in your body. And if you do notice that, I invite you, if you feel comfortable, to just place your hand there. It could be your heart, it could be your lower abdomen, your solar plexus, your head, any part of your body where there feels some discomfort. And just place the hand there. And today we are using a new acronym for the word fear. So we'll walk through this process together. And as we do this, I invite you to place your other hand on your heart. The heart is an amazing organ. You have within you what is similar to the catalytic converter in a car. That is the organ of your heart. Reverend Frankie spoke about courage. Your courage resides there. The divine feminine, the mother, resides there. And heartache can make us not recognize that, but it's there. And so placing your hand on your heart, your other hand, wherever the first hand is, just breathe. Just allow the breath to move the energy from your first hand into the hand on the heart. And as you breathe in, let's work with this new acronym. F being for flow. So just allow the breath to flow into the sensation, whatever that discomfort was, and bring it into your heart. And take a nice deep breath, allow that flow. Let's take another breath, allowing that flow. And what you may notice then is that as the flow goes, there is ease. That is the E of fear. Allow the ease of the flow and the breath to move that energy through you. And as you allow that, you are now moving into a place of acceptance. Just accepting that sensation, that feeling, or that emotion, and just allow the flow, the ease, and the acceptance. And one more nice deep breath, moving into that big breath. And in this, you feel the release. So one more breath into the nice deep release. So you have allowed the flow, the ease, the acceptance, and the release. Your heart has the energy and the power to do this. And this is a practice that you have, that you can use at any time to move any emotion, any distress in your body through your heart space, to dissolve, to transform, to transmute into the original nature of your divine love, the divine mother within you, and allowing that process to be the healing transformation for your next joy. And so let's take one more deep breath together. And know that as we flow, allow ease and acceptance, we release. And when you feel comfortable, I invite you to bring your attention back to where you're sitting, feeling stable in your chair, wherever you are, and open your eyes and bring yourself back to the outer world, feeling renewed and restored. And in this way, I would like to just mention that I will be bringing back the healing circle. So look forward to that. We had it at our old location, and now we will be bringing it back on July 1st. First Friday, you will hear more about that. Thank you.
You asked, you received. Healing Circle. Gail is just, for years you did it, right? 6 years?
7.
7 years, once a month, so we're bringing it back. We're bringing back several things. One is Flourishing is a workshop that I created around prosperity. And you can come to one of them or all of them, but it starts at noon. We're going to be here in a circle. And it's really about, today it's about giving, receiving as one thing, because we tend to say this is giving, this is receiving. No, they're one thing, just like a quarter. So if we have any desires in our lives, things that we would love to experience more of or more deeply of, or want to experience healing, what we get to look at is where we're not receiving. Because that's the block. It's not because you aren't being given whatever it is that you would love. It's that you're not receiving it, and that's not a conscious thing. So we're going to explore that today, and anybody's welcome to stay for that. We start at 12. It's only an hour and a half. So come and join me. And then the first Sunday in June, Theo Tilton will be here to present his new book. We're going to have a book signing if you don't have the book yet, and he's going to talk a little bit about his new book. And I've also planned a new member class for anybody that's interested in or curious about membership at our center. That's going to be on the 12th. The flyers are all over there if you're here. If you're not here, you receive those in our weekly email. It's on our website. And if you don't get that, let us know, and we make sure that you're on our email list. The other thing we're doing is we are bringing back social hour. So that you're bringing back social hour, not me, not Gail. You're bringing back social hour. So if you say, you know what, we're going to start once a month. If you want to pick a Sunday and make it all happen, we will show you the way in our new coffee nook. And we already have a couple of volunteers. So if somebody would like to organize that a little bit, let me know. So I want you to hold your hands like this. And just imagine that everything that you receive as being part of this community is in there. Maybe you can name it.
Support.
Yeah, support.
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Acceptance.
Acceptance.
Like-mindedness.
Love, like-mindedness.
Comfort.
Healing.
Healing.
Healing, yeah, so there's lots, right? And so the reason that is because we have a space that we rent. I get a salary, believe it or not. I know, it's a hobby. I should not even be getting paid for it. Right? And so that means your contribution matters. And not just for today and next week and next year, but for your children's children, your children's grandchildren, the people that you know that are hungry for spiritual community, just like you, and for this teaching. And so it's a legacy, right? And so I want you to now put your hand on your heart and just ask yourself, maybe not today, but really think about how you can give back so that the legacy of this community can continue to flourish. So whether that is a donation that you make, there's many ways to do that, online, here, all kinds of ways, through texting. It's also through serving, being a volunteer, and maybe it's by spreading the word. I don't know, I'm sure there's an infinite amount of ways. So I invite you to really think about doing something, doing your part. And then if you want to give today, of course you can. There's the basket over there. And now, Gail is going to bless us with a closing healing treatment. So watch out. Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Thank you.
So we got this tandem thing going here, back and forth.
Tag team.
So let us know right now that this one life, this God life, this divine feminine mothering presence, as Ernest Holmes described it, as a warm, pulsating presence that surrounds us, infuses us with all that there is, all that is becoming for each one of us. And I know that this life is infinite, eternal, joyful, graceful, healing, wise, beautiful, courageous, infinitely transformative, and it is God's life. And it is within us, it's around us, it infuses everything that is and ever shall be. And I acknowledge its presence, I acknowledge its activity in this service this morning. I acknowledge the divine loving kindness and compassion of God that has been expressed during this service. Knowing that each one of us has been served, continues to be served by this loving, transformative, compassionate heart that is God's heart. It flows through us as our heart, and we are heart full. And any heartache dissolves right here and right now. Any dis-ease dissolves right here and right now. Any suffering is released right here and right now. And there is a great, great love and joy that emerges within each heart. And that is the joy of God, the joy of God's living through and as us. And so I am deeply grateful for this service, for everyone here, for all the souls that have ever been at the Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, in either of our locations and in all of our iterations. I say, thank you, Mother, Father, God. I release this into universal law with profound faith and infinite gratitude, knowing that as I release this word, it is truly done. And so it is.
And so it is. Amen.